for Noriko. Here goes.
Oh no. Kojiro, what are you gonna do? What are you doing? No! I can't show this. I can't show this. I'm not showing this. He's cutting off his arm, by the way. Ate lunch, an early lunch. Now I'm back for episode 13.
Scant.
Yeah. A scant few hours sleep didn't offer much in the way of refreshment. Have to be at the morgue again in an hour. Not that there's much to do there since the place was robbed. Perhaps a few more cadavers will have arrived. Perhaps Junpei Matsumoto's corpse will be there. I should take this opportunity to take a breath. Been a while since life slowed down like this. No requests coming through for Corpse Girl. No bodies to haul around town with Tomoe. No cadavers to catalog at the morgue. Life should be good. I'm still alone, and Noriko may decide to discard me at any moment. Why does that make me want her more? Oh, Kojiro, honey. Do I want to prove my worth? My value? Prove to her that I'm worth keeping around? Don't know. Doesn't matter in the long run. After brewing myself a cup of coffee using the French press Tomoe gifted me, I take a seat in my chair. Sitting alone in the darkness is somewhat depressing. But it's only temporary. I won't be alone forever. Soon, Noriko will sit here with me. We'll be together in the darkness. I'll make her see my worth. I'll make her love me the way that I love her. Kojiro, you can't make someone love you. I'll make her feel the void that Shizuku left in my life. Is Shizuku in your closet? We still haven't addressed that. I'll make her treat the gnawing pain in my insides. I'll make her save me from falling into despair, from falling into old habits. Noriko will save me from myself, just like Shizuku once did. I take a sip of my coffee. It's still a little hot and scalds the gap in my mouth where my tooth once was. It hurts. But I'll be okay. Soon. Kojiro, honey, this is where you and Tomoe should gang up on Noriko. It's hard to hide a smile when plans unfold perfectly. The body was here waiting for me when I arrived at the morgue. Staring down at the pallid corpse of Junpei Matsumoto fills me with more satisfaction than I thought possible. The dog is dead, and my early morning encounter with his executioner wasn't just some fever dream born from wishful thinking. His body is riddled with stab wounds, deep, clean, piercing cuts. But these injuries were not inflicted by a knife. I'm no forensic pathologist, but the wounds are too thin and too deep. Each intrusion is about the width of a chopstick. Doubt he was killed by chopsticks, though. You can never rule out everything. My gaze pans down his body looking for anything of interest. The rest of his form looks ordinary. Nothing to note. I'll zip up the bag for now and return him to his allocated cold chamber. Might take him out once in a while to have a laugh. As I raise the zipper covering his legs and groin, I have to shift his arms to fit them within the HRP. And then I flinch and my hands instinctively retract from the cadaver. I'm used to the ice-cold touch of a body fresh from its containment chamber, the sensation of lifeless preserved flesh. Thus, it wasn't the sensation of touch that caused me to startle. It was the sight of something out of the ordinary, something I'd somehow missed during my initial observation. Junpei's fingers. 5 thick, meaty digits on each hand. 10 perfectly intact, dead, but otherwise healthy fingers. It was only days ago that I pierced 2 of his fingers, his thumb and his pointer finger, using cheap metal cutlery. I can't forget the distinct feeling of plunging those implements through flesh and bone, pinning his fingers to table. The corpse before me shows no evidence of ever being injured in such a manner. Nobody can heal wounds like that without medical attention. Even then, stitches and scars will remain. But Junpei Matsumoto's digits are 100% intact and puncture-free.
Interesting.
Yeah, so maybe the real guy isn't dead. Come to think of it, didn't I snap another few of his fingers in half that time I confronted him outside of his apartment? I'm sure I did, crushed the bones with my own fist. But this corpse's hands don't show signs of that either. Normal to the touch, no visible bruising. On a whim, I pull out my phone and open Noise. I navigate to Junpei Matsumoto's profile. Load a few profile images, swipe through them one by one. I put my phone right next to Junpei's hand, comparing the similarities between Junpei's photos and his dead body. Everything becomes clear immediately. Certain elements of Junpei's features don't match. His nose is broader in photos. His lips are thinner, more topped. The corpse in front of me is not Junpei Matsumoto. It's a copy. A clone. Junpei Matsumoto's death was faked for our entertainment. The body lying on the ground in front of the Herald was planted there before we arrived, planted to convince us that Junpei had met his maker. The Herald did not kill Junpei. The Herald simply used one of the corpse girl's tricks and produced a carbon copy body, all in order to fool myself and Noriko. As this revelation settles in my mind, I come to another conclusion. The morgue being robbed was no coincidence. I can almost guarantee that the cadaver used to replicate Junpei's death was stolen from this very place, a weapon of deception stolen and turned against us. And the morgue was targeted before Noriko even requested Junpei's death. Almost as if the human removal service predicted Noriko's movements in advance. Is that even possible? All I know for sure is that the dog is still out there, still skulking around, working for his master. This is starting to get interesting. August 8th, Saturday afternoon.
Okay, I think I'm up to date.
It looks like Kojiro came and told Noriko everything.
I guess it was a good thing you decided to prod and poke Junpei's corpse, as you put it.
Guess so.
I thought you were just being your usual morbid self, taking corpses for your own use, whatever that may be.
Don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm glad you acted, faking Junpei's death. What's their end goal? What did they really accomplish by pulling such a stunt?
There's a million possible answers to that question. Can't know the real truth, not yet.
Obvious answer would be that they wanted to deceive us. Make us think we have the upper hand.
I came to the same conclusion. They think they've fooled us, but we know better. Can we use that to our advantage?
Don't know.
Sometimes you're helpful, and other times you're just...
What?
Never mind.
Okay.
It irritates her when I withhold my thoughts. Sometimes I act like this just to elicit a reaction from her. She's cute when she's pissed off.
I don't know what we should do next. We're kind of at a dead end, right?
Kind of.
Corpse Girl's website has gone silent. No one is requesting deaths anymore. But if I'm to believe the news, there are still dozens of people being killed all around the city, which means the human removal service is still as active as ever.
Well, obviously, Noriko.
Don't beat yourself up. Don't have any cadavers at the morgue anyway. Can't exactly fulfill any requests.
True.
She sighs and rubs her eyes. Despite her tired, exhausted appearance, she's dealing with recent events rather well. For Noriko, at any rate.
Can you let me know when the morgue starts filling up again?
Sure. Hang on. There is one body there. Fake Junpei.
Yeah.
Not much use, though, I suppose.
No, not really. Keep me updated.
Okay.
She rubs her eyes again and tries to hold back a yawn.
You look wrecked.
Sorry. Things are tough right now.
It'll get better. You'll cause some deaths soon enough.
My words have the strange effect of actually cheering her up slightly. I know we're not exactly the most normal people. The thing we do, the causes we devote ourselves to, they are wrong. There's no other way to put it. I know this. I trust that Noriko knows this as well. We're morbid, sick, disgusting. Noriko slaughters innocent people in the name of Corpse Girl, her fabricated idol, or alter ego, or whatever else she could be. As for me, I've got as much blood on my hands as Noriko does. She likes to believe she's innocent, but the truth is that she's just as guilty as any killer. I don't see myself the same way. I know for a fact that things I've done are enough to put me behind bars for the rest of my life. I don't try to convince myself that I'm something I'm not. I'm a criminal, plain and simple. But Noriko is a kindred spirit. We're connected on some level that I don't expect the average person to understand. We're bonded by the things we've done, the death we've witnessed. Looking at her now, this tired girl, worn thin by stress, I can't help but be reminded of Shizuko. I messed up with Shizuko. I didn't take the time we had together seriously. I took it all for granted. I won't make the same mistake with Noriko. I'll make her mine and I'll prove my love to her every day. Perhaps that will convince her to not discard me when I've run out of use.
Want something to eat?
She glances at me and opens her mouth, but weighs her words before speaking.
Thanks, but you know me.
I know.
Of course I know. I know so much about her. She doesn't eat, not unless she absolutely has to in order to live for another day.
Something light? A salad? I want to share a meal with you.
I can't.
Okay, I understand.
I do. I get it. It's Noriko. Her convictions are what I admire most about her. What would it say of her character if I could break her convictions with a simple invitation?
We should get married.
Huh?
A few days ago, you said you'd be mine.
You did, Noriko. You did.
I told you something like that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that had a condition. You had to kill Junpei.
Hmm.
She's right. I didn't manage to kill him. Does that mean I don't deserve her?
Maybe there's something else I could do? Let me prove that I'm a man you can love.
I'll think about it.
Okay.
I'll take that. It's better than an outright no.
Maybe you should get going for now. I need to sleep.
Okay.
I'll leave her be. Should get some sleep myself.
Later.
Bye, Kojiro.
Something about the way she says my name sends a chill down my spine. It's not a pleasant sensation. It's not a feeling of elation or excitement. It's uncomfortable, disconcerting. I shrug it off and leave the factory. Ooh. What is happening here? What? 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 I have an uncannily vivid recollection of dragging Shizuku's corpse through the streets on the night she was killed. I had witnessed the collision. I watched, speechless, as the asshole who ran her down drove away like a coward. It took me a while to gather the strength to collect her crumpled body from the asphalt. By then it was around 7 o'clock. The sun had set, but a sliver of light still peeked over the horizon, tinting the sky with an orange hue. People kept screaming at me. Wasn't doing anything wrong, wasn't trying to smear Shizuko's blood on the sidewalk. Just wanted to take her home. She was hurt or dead, no point leaving her in the middle of the road. She didn't comment on my suit, got all dressed up just for her. Didn't comment on the ring, even as I slipped it on her stiff finger. She didn't say a word about the size of the diamond, but she made a unique sound as we walked. It rings in my ears now and then, especially when I catch myself in quiet moments. Didn't know what it was at the time. It punctured the silence between my heavy footsteps. Turns out the sound was caused by the fabric of her dress stretching and ripping against the coarse texture of the sidewalk. She made that sound for the entire journey home. My footsteps, Shizuku, people screaming. The cacophony of irritating noise assaulted us during the entire expedition. Silence didn't rear its head until we arrived at our destination. It wasn't easy getting her up the stairs to my apartment. I'd carried her in my arms dozens of times, always effortlessly. But during that final ascent, Shizuku's weight exceeded the limit of my muscles. Had no choice but to drag her up slowly, a single step at a time. Wasn't my fault her head cracked against every step. Oh, Kojiro, oh. Is she still in the apartment? Once we were inside, I finally had the opportunity to examine the damage. Her limbs were flattened. Her chest had caved in, ribs crushed and ground into a fine dust. Remarkably, her beautiful face remained unmarred. She looked at peace, despite having died in pure agony not long before. And that was the last time I kissed her. Planted my lips on hers and found comfort in the slight warmth that still remained. And then I closed her eyes. Oh, Kojiro. My memory of that event is so clear that thinking about it feels like I'm reliving it again for the first time. The pain hasn't dulled, but I'm glad I don't live in that apartment anymore. Climbing those steps every day would only serve to remind me of dragging Shizuku behind me. I cut myself free from the chains that shackled me to her, but I can never destroy the memories. I think they'll haunt me to the end of my days. Perhaps that's why I'm so desperate to fill the void she's left in my life. I'm desperate to distract myself with the love from another. And yet, at that time I didn't want to let her go. I wanted to hold her cold, lifeless corpse to my body and simply waste away so I could join her in the afterlife. In fact, I was so attached to her corpse that I did something I'd never done before, not once, in all my history of toying with dead bodies. I decided to keep her. Yep, there it is, there it is, there it is. Oh, honey. Don't know whether it was out of despair or depression or desperation. Don't truly know why I decided to do such an odd thing. Possessed by a single disturbing idea, I emptied out the small storage closet in that old apartment, discarded everything within, and then I carefully, delicately, lovingly placed Shizuku inside the dark space. She stood up against the wall almost casually, almost like she was alive. I held her in place with some rope fastened to the wall, a loop around her neck and a few bindings around her waist. She sagged a little, but it wasn't overly noticeable. There, Shizuku stood before me. Though her gaze was lowered, I could almost fool myself into thinking she wanted to greet me. Or she wanted to simply say goodbye. Goodbye. Something I never considered saying to her. But I knew it was time to say goodbye to her and to say goodbye to myself. The me that shared a life with her. The me that lived in the shame of things I'd done. Into the small storage room I piled the evidence of my guilt. All the macabre and sickening paraphernalia I had collected over the years found a new home within the dark space. Photos of corpses, tomes written about embalming and mummification, countless books by Noble Sinclair, that author I held so dearly to my heart. Everything and everyone that made up Kojiro found itself inside that room. And with one last look at that girl, I slammed the door and locked it tight. The ceremonial act of locking away everything I once loved had a cathartic effect. But the moments after that aren't as clear in my mind. I know that I sealed up the room and concealed the door, but I don't recall the effort that went into doing so. I know that I decided to leave the apartment behind, but I don't recall talking to the landlord. I know that I tried to move on from being the person I once was, but I don't know how much I truly changed. Kojiro, you left her in that apartment. No wonder it smells awful. Because just over a year later, I'm still in this world, taking part in truly disturbing acts. I'm still obsessed with the dead, and I'm still fawning over Noriko. Maybe people can't change after all. Maybe I've been fooling myself all this time into thinking that I'm different now. But I'm not. I'm the same as I always was. I'm still just Kojiro. Maybe that's okay. August 9th, Sunday night. Oh my goodness.
Some good news for you.
Really? What is it?
A few new cadavers were in the morgue when I arrived tonight.
Ah,
Also, I was thinking
what about?
something funny. We went to such lengths to make sure we didn't get caught stealing cadavers from here.
And?
Well, it's amusing that the entire place was ransacked by the human removal service, but no one ever investigated. No one here seemed to really care.
We tried so hard to cover our tracks, being careful about every single corpse we lifted. Then those assholes just waltzed in and stole everything without any repercussions.
Yeah,
It makes me sick. I want to bring them down.
yeah.
Anyway, how many bodies came in today?
4. Not a great deal, but a start. Give it a week or two, and this place should be packed once more.
Okay, good. Thanks for letting me know.
Of course.
See you.
Later.
Since I've already cataloged the new arrivals, I figure I can relax for the rest of my shift. I plant myself on the uncomfortable steel chair parked near the morgue's entryway. A few moments later, I'm lost within the flashing lights from my phone screen. Don't know how long I zoned out for, but when I come to, Noriko's name is emblazoned across my screen. Strange for her to call me now, since we spoke just before.
Yo,
You're not going to believe this.
try me.
Somebody requested a death!
Ah, that explains the excitement in her voice.
Congrats. It's been a while.
It's been far too long. I thought we were done for. I thought Corpse Girl's website had fallen into obscurity.
Happy for you.
Kojiro, we can't let this slip through our fingers. We need a victory here. This new request has to be fulfilled immediately. I want this victim to die with a bang. I want his death to propel Corpse Girl's name back into the limelight.
Roger. Awaiting your orders.
I'm sending you the Vic's photo. Get me a corpse that matches his appearance, just like usual.
Only got a handful of bodies here, remember? Going to be a long shot.
Do whatever the fuck you have to do.
Her icy cold command leaves no room to be misinterpreted.
Copy that.
The call ends and I immediately receive a message from Noriko. Opening it up reveals the photo of the Corpse Girl's latest victim. Male, mid-30s or so, fairly unremarkable guy. Let's see what the bodies are in stock. I heave myself off the steel chair and log into the morgue's computer. Scanning through the inventory only takes a few seconds. There are 5 cadavers here in total, the 4 that arrived today plus the Junpei Matsumoto look-alike. Looking through the details reveals that of the 5, 3 are female and 2 are male. I immediately rule out using the Junpei look-alike corpse for this request. It's a heavy-set body and doesn't match the victim at all. I'll need to take a look at the other male, but I don't like the odds of finding a match. I navigate to the cold chambers. The cold air spewing forth from the open compartment fogs up my glasses. I calmly remove them, wipe them against my coat, and return them to their rightful place. After unzipping the body bag, I am met with the face of death, a sight I have become more than accustomed to after many long years working here. This guy is just as average looking as Corpse Girl's victim. Seems like the type of person you wouldn't notice in a crowd. He'd simply be a blur against the sea of bodies. Might be exactly what we need. I compare his features to those of the victim in the photo. He looks similar. Couldn't exactly mistake him for a relative, but maybe with a bit of Noriko's makeup handiwork, he might pass off as a close enough copy.
Oh,
Only one problem. Unzipping the body bag further reveals that this guy only has one arm. His left arm has been severed just below the elbow, leaving a surgical stump. It's something that he has clearly lived with for years because the area in question is clean. Probably had a prosthetic limb before being moved to the morgue. This particular feature is a deal breaker. Too hard to convince the victim that this is his own corpse if it's missing a limb. Although, perhaps Noriko could factor the missing limb into the cause of death. I bloodied the stump a bit. It could be made to look like he lost an arm before he died. I reach for my phone and call Noriko back, getting sick of the chit-chat.
You find a suitable corpse?
Almost. Got a guy about the same age and build. Plain face. Needs some work, but could do the job.
Great! I'll send Tomoe over with the van right away.
Just one thing.
What?
The body is missing an arm.
Oh, that is a problem.
Yeah. Can you edit the corpse photo so that the victim is missing an arm? Make it look like it got chopped off before he died. That way, when he receives the actual corpse, he'll be expecting a missing limb.
No.
No?
I'm already in the middle of making the photo. I'm not changing it now.
Then I don't know what to tell you. Don't have any other suitable bodies.
Make it work, Kojiro.
A venomous tone again.
What can I do? Not going to roam the street and kill someone that looks like the Vic.
Come up with something else then. Hell, chop your own arm off and attach it to the corpse. I don't care what you do. But I need the body within the hour.
I really hate Noriko.
If you let me down, I'll never be with you.
So what? So what at this point?
Our relationship is tied to Corpse Girl's fate. If you let her down, you'll let me down.
You'll let me
And
down.
I don't like being let down.
My phone beeps twice as if to protest Noriko abruptly ending the call.
Fantastic.
She likes backing me into corners. What am I supposed to do? Set a boundary? Kill her? Turn her in? I don't know. It's clear that she doesn't really have any intention of being with me. Yes, it is, Kojiro. She's using me. Yes, she is. Dangling the promise of something I desire right in front of me. And yet, Kojiro, no. Kojiro, no. I need to prove to her that she should be with me. I lower my glasses and gently rub my brow with my fingers.
Shit.
Kojiro, I've got an idea, but I can't believe I'm about to do this. I slide my glasses back up and adjust them so they're comfortable once more.
For Noriko. Here goes.
Oh no. Kojiro, what are you gonna do? What are you doing? No! Bro! Why? Oh my god. I can't show this. I can't show this. I'm not showing this. He's cutting off his arm, by the way. The cutting process is pure agony. To prevent myself from passing out, I keep my breathing steady and try to focus on something simple. Something my brain can handle, while aflame with pain. I begin to count. 1, 2, 3. I count the seconds that it takes for the jagged metal saw to reach bone. 15, 16. My fingers clutching the saw begin to slip due to perspiration. It's getting harder to even hold the tool. After some 32 odd seconds, the saw hits bone. If you have learned anything from the series, is to not be like these people, okay? Just don't. What the hell? Oh my god. Why? 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 Oh my god. Vomit and drool have soaked the front of my coat and began to smear together with the blood. It's forming a shallow pool at my feet, and the stench of the mixing liquids threatens to overwhelm my senses. Counting the seconds has become infinitely more difficult. 43, 44, 430. Was it 21 seconds so far? No, it's been longer than that. It has to be a minute by now. I've been sawing into my own arm for a full minute, but the blade still hasn't cut through all the bone. Don't recall when I fell to my knees. Don't recall when I stood back up. Don't recall running my slimy fingers through my hair, when flecks of blood splattered against my glasses, or when my bladder relieved itself. Don't even recall why I'm doing this. Is it for Shizuko? Is it because I love her? No, Noriko. It's for Noriko. Actually, it's for Corpse Girl. I have to prove I'm worthy of her. I have to be loved by her. There's nothing else for me. 97, 98. As my count reaches 99 seconds, my right arm falls to the wet, tiled floor, flopping like a dead fish against the deck of a boat. I let out a groan of what can only be called relief and I slump in on myself, resting in the pool of foul liquid. My vision is blurry, my breathing is ragged. The same part of my consciousness knows that I need to treat my wound. I need to apply a tourniquet or cauterize the damage, or I'm just going to bleed out and die on the floor of my own morgue. But a quiet voice in my mind, the very same one that drove me to such an extreme measure, urges me to finish my work. Getting to my feet is a struggle. I try to push myself up off the ground using both arms, but of course, I fall flat on my face when my right arm fails to react to my mental instructions. I think the lenses of my glass smashed against the tiles because the eyes seem to be bleeding now. A second attempt at pushing off the ground is more successful. My left arm is somehow strong enough to hoist my barely responsive body. I sway and stagger around aimlessly before collecting myself enough to attempt to fish my severed arm off the ground. Luckily, I managed to grasp the blood and vomit-soaked wrist of my former limb with one good hand. I drag myself toward the mortuary lift that holds aloft the corpse I need to attach my arm to, but I didn't think this through. I don't really know how to attach a severed limb. I bludgeon the corpse's stump with my useless arm, trying to find some point of connection that will magically fuse the limb to the corpse. It's hopeless. And as I madly flail the arm around, I can't help but laugh at the whole situation. Of course I can't attach my arm to this corpse. The corpse is missing its left arm. What the fuck? I cut off my right arm.
Good one.
I throw my useless detached arm behind me and rest my weary body against the mortuary lift. Accompanying my laughter is the laughter of somebody else nearby. I have to listen really intently to confirm that I'm not just hallucinating, but I'm certain that somebody just walked into my line of vision, even if they are nothing more than a dark, blurred silhouette.
Yo, bro, you don't look so hot.
It's Junpei.
What'd you do, cut off your own arm?
I know the voice, but I can't place it right now. It's not my voice, and it's not Noriko's voice.
Want me to take the pain away?
Oh no. Yes, please. I'd give anything to remove the pain. I can't voice my consent. My mouth is dry, my jaw is locked in place.
Here. Nothing a little fire can't fix.
Ooh, no. The figure comes closer. He smells foul, like a dog that has bathed in gasoline. Oh no! A dog. The heavyset figure that I now assume is Junpei Matsumoto is crouched over me. The smell of gasoline intensifies as he pours some sort of cold liquid all over my clothes.
Pity I gotta light this place up. But you guys didn't get the hint when we stole all of your corpses. Well, you ain't gonna be nothing without your precious morgue. And Corpse Girl is gonna wither away without her right-hand man. Right hand. Get it, Kojimbo?
The way he deliberately mispronounces my name really bothers me. It bothers me so much that the anger boiling inside me gives me the strength to open my mouth once more.
It's Kojiro.
Sure, bro. Sleep tight.
The dog lifts his body and disappears into oblivion beyond my sight. The unmistakable sound of a match being struck should fill me with panic, but I feel strangely calm. Warm, glowing tendrils of flame flicker around the outskirts of my vision. Fire. The entire morgue is alight. The acrid smell of smoke quickly covers up the odor of gasoline. Fire. I lost my family to fire so many years ago. Maybe it's fitting that I should perish in the same way. Fire. I hate fire. I hate it and fear it. Fire. It's everywhere surrounding me. The sickening stench of burning flesh permeates my nostrils, and I realize that it's the smell of my severed arm being incinerated behind me. Fire. I close my eyes. Really sleepy right now. Kojiro! Lost a lot of blood after all.
Sorry, Noriko.
Kojiro, no, honey.
Sorry I loved you.
Oh, honey. Ah. 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 Act 3. Aoi Sato. Act 2 complete. 1 month later. So we're at the end of August or the beginning of September. Mid-September. September 20th, Sunday evening. All right. Oh my gosh. Well, this is a good time to wrap up the episode. Sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger, but I gotta go process what just happened to Kojiro and what the hell is happening? What the hell is happening? So, thank you so much for watching another episode of Corpse Factory with me. If you haven't caught up on the other episodes, they're always linked in the description. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and go watch some of my other content because it would truly mean a lot since I think I'm traumatizing myself with this game. Anyway, you can call me Phoebes or Phoebe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!